What's good, YouTube? It's your boy, Blue Blood Sports TV, back at y'all with another one. So, undefeated Mexican super middleweight WBC world champion David Benavidez gives his thoughts in a recent interview on the franchising that the WBC sanction body has implemented and given to Mexican superstar 4-division world champion Saul Canelo Alvarez and Vasil High-Tech Lomachenko unified lightweight. David Benavidez was asked about this franchise title and what he thought about it. David Benavidez had this to say, quote, "I love the WBC, no disrespect to the WBC, but I have no idea what they're doing. And they totally need to get rid of it." He says that there's no place for it in the sport of boxing. He says we already have the international WBC, we already have the silver, we already have the diamond, we already have the regular. We already have too many titles as far as when it comes to these sanction bodies to begin with. Now you adding a franchise belt. He says a franchise title. He says, I have no interest in becoming a franchise champion. And to be honest, the WBC needs to do away with the franchise title. And this is coming from a Mexican descent. You know, we know the WBC sanction body is a Mexican-based sanction body. It's a Mexican belt, right? Mauricio Suleiman, president of the WBC, obviously is Mexican, right? And so you would think at this, you know, in this juncture that somebody like David Benavidez would stand behind it, but absolutely not, right? David Benavidez says it has no place in the sport of boxing, and he stands with Deontay Wilder and Gary Russell Jr. and everybody else that feels like the franchise belt is just a waste of time and it has no place in the sport of boxing, end quote. So here's my thoughts. You can tell the guys that have no interest in the WBC franchise belt because these are the guys that aren't looking to avoid any fighters. Their mentality is not to duck anybody. Their mentality is to go, they're firefighters, right? They don't run from the fire, they go into it. You know, so that's their mentality. You could tell the mentality of a guy that he wants his mandatories. He wants to be able to defend his belt officially, legitimately, right? Not just in a situation where, you know, it allows you to avoid and wiggle out of certain fights. David Benavidez wants that Caleb Plant fight. He wanted that Anthony Dirrell fight. David Benavidez lost his belt not in the ring. He lost his belt outside of the ring because he was indulging in extra activities outside of the ring, which unfortunately caused him to have to vacate his WBC belt, which saw Anthony Dirrell pick up the belt. And then he went and defeated Anthony Dirrell and took it back the legitimate way. And so here you have a guy, right, that's of Mexican descent, but he says this title has no place in the sport of boxing. And he absolutely cannot stand with it. He says he doesn't understand it. It's confusing, and it just has no place. He says we already have multiple belts that represents one sanction body. So we have the gold, we have the regular, we have the silver, we have the intercontinental. We have too many to begin with. So he said, no disrespect. I don't want to disrespect them because I love them. But at the end of the day, I don't understand where they're going with this. It's confusing, and they need to do away with it. I agree. Vasil Lomachenko was awarded this title for him to wiggle and not have to fight Devin Haney, who was his mandatory. Right? He claimed that he wanted to go for undisputed. So the WBC allowed him to come to them and wiggle out and say, listen, I want undisputed, but I don't want to fight Devin Haney. So could you make something happen? And they say, yeah, listen, we'll franchise you. You can't lose your title, but nobody could gain it. That's utterly ridiculous. If somebody could take something from me, I could take it back from them. Right? One hand washes the other. Right? For every action, there's a reaction. So Canelo Alvarez did not want to fight his mandatory, Jermall Charlo, at 160 pounds. Canelo Alvarez, again, was another guy who claimed that he wanted to become undisputed at the middleweight division. Okay, so he claimed that he had 3 belts. He had the WBA, the WBO, and he had the WBA, the WBC, and the IBF. Demetrius Andre had the WBO. 1 belt away from being undisputed, right? And guess what Canelo Alvarez did? Vacated the WBC, then moved up in weight. I thought you wanted to be undisputed. So, like I told you guys before, he fought Rocky Fielding. If Rocky Fielding held the WBO at the middleweight division when Canelo Alvarez held the WBC, the WBA, and the IBF, would he have vacated the WBC and moved up to 168 to fight David Benavidez for his WBC super middleweight 168 title, or Caleb Plant for his IBF 168 pound championship sanctioned body title? No, he would have went right into that Rocky Fielding fight if the roles were reversed. So if you say Demetrius Andre was at 168 pounds and held the WBO or the WBA, whichever Rocky Fielding quote unquote held at the 168 pounds, and Rocky Fielding held the WBO at 160, and Canelo Alvarez had the WBC, the WBA, and the IBF, what route do you think Canelo Alvarez is going? He's going for the Rocky Fielding fight for undisputed, opposed to going to 168, because he said he quote unquote wanted to go up multiple weight classes, become a multiple weight class champion, right? That's the reason he went up to fight Rocky Fielding, right? Was to achieve greatness, right? And not fight Demetrius Andre for undisputed, right? So would he have still had the same mindset if Rocky Fielding held the WBO at 160 and Demetrius Andre held the WBA at 168 after he fought Danny Jacobs for the IBF? Now ask yourself that question. Does he go up and fight Demetrius Andre at that point in time? Or does he take the easier route and fight Rocky Fielding for undisputed? We know what it is, right? He's going to go the route of fighting Rocky Fielding. So here's the thing, right? I tell you guys all the time when it comes to Deontay Wilder and the Anthony Joshua situation. Anthony Joshua held the IBF, the WBO, and the WBA, and the IBO, right? He only need 1 title. That was Deontay Wilder's WBC title. He then said that it was too early in his career to pursue undisputed when he was only 1 title away. So that means that it's not the belt, it's the man with the belt. It's not the sanction bodies, it's the person with the belts, right? It's the person that represent the sanction body. So we know Canelo Alvarez, it's not that it was it's not that he didn't want to achieve that WBO. It's the fact that he would have to go through Demetrius Andre to achieve that. So he weighed out his options. Demetrius Andre for undisputed, or Rocky Fielding for another weight class. We'll do Rocky Fielding for another weight class. And it's unofficial because he wasn't even the official WBA champion, because Caleb Smith is the official WBA 168-pound champion. So why didn't he go the route of fighting Caleb Smith? You understand what I'm saying? So it's essentially, it's picking your path, the path less difficult to achieve greatness. That's what he's doing. And so, see, the WBC is allowing such actions to take place by doing what they're doing. They're okaying this. They're co-signing avoiding. They're co-signing not fighting the best. So, see, Canelo Alvarez said, listen, you make Jermall Charlo my mandatory, I'm going to drop the belt. And so, guess what? They said, listen, we don't want you. We want you to continue to represent our sanction body and our brand. So here's what we'll do. We'll franchise you. You can never lose our belt, but you don't have no mandatories. That sounds utterly ridiculous because, like I just told you, for every action is a reaction. One hand washes the other. If you could take something from me, I could take something from you. Simple and plain. So David Benavidez is on board with the mindset of not traveling the path less easy for greatness, but traveling the path for actual greatness, not deceiving the people and telling the people I achieved greatness without actually achieving greatness, but actually achieving greatness to say I achieved greatness. So you want proof that your hard work at the end of the tunnel. You don't want to deceive the people. You know, you went over the tunnel. You got a helicopter to get you over the tunnel and put you on the other side, and tell the people that you walked through, you dug your way through the tunnel. You actually want to go through the tunnel so that way you can sleep good at night when you come out on the other side and say, I went through the tunnel. I went through the mud. You understand what I'm saying? And this is the path that Vasyl Lomachenko and Canelo Alvarez are not choosing to do. Vasyl Lomachenko claim to fame was that he wanted to fight Luke Campbell. He jumped in front of Devin Haney from fighting Luke Campbell for the WBC, right? Then once he achieved so, because he said he wanted undisputed. So you had, he claimed that he was waiting for Teofimo Lopez, Richard Coleman winner because he wanted to achieve undisputed. So what happened between beating Luke Campbell and Devin Haney becoming your mandatory, that your mindset changed from wanting to be undisputed? We know what happened. It's the man that represent the threat. It's not the threat itself. Just like I told you guys, it's Deontay Wilder that holds the WBC. If he went through Charles Martin, let's say Kubrat Pulev held the WBC, would Anthony Joshua still be saying and uttering the words of, it's too early in my career to chase undisputed? No, he would be saying, I'm going to defeat Andy Ruiz Jr. to regain my titles. Then I'm going to fight Kubrat Pulev for undisputed. But it's the man with the belt. It's not the belt. So kudos and salute to David Benavidez for turning that down and speaking his mind truth. But that's all I got for y'all. Y'all already know what it is. It's your boy Blue Blood Sports TV. Hate, like, comment, and subscribe. You haven't subscribed? Hit the subscribe button. Hit the like button. Hit the bell icon to get all the new notifications. Follow me on Instagram at Blood Sports TV, all one word. Y'all already know what it is. Shout out to the entire LDBC. Shout out to New Media. Shout out to Black Media Row. Make sure you like and share these videos. That's all I got for y'all. Undefeated, Mexican, super middleweight, WBC world champion, David Benavidez says the WBC is making a mistake and they need to do away with this franchise title because there's no place in the sport of boxing. That's all I got for y'all, man. Peace.